evening and welcome. How are we doing? You know, you went through my resume. These days, it's more politics on that list than anything else. So it's all day, every day politics. So needless to say, being here with all of you, this is a welcome reprieve and a beautiful break. And I'm so thrilled to be here to help celebrate a mission and an organization that I feel so very passionate about. I love and admire and respect the woman and her team who got all this going and dreamed it all up. And I marvel at how much Maria Trusso and her team have been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. This is the only second gala. Thank you for having me back as your MC once again. It's such an honor. But I remember when I walked in, Maria reminded me when I was walking in, she said, "You asked me when we left how we were gonna top it." Because raise your hands, how many people in this room were there last year? Okay, about half of you. Well, guess what Maria did? She's such a sloucher. She doubled the size of the event. So that's incredible. Congratulations to you. Thank you, everyone who came out from far and wide. I know I was talking to people from all parts of the tri-state who came out. This is no longer just a local cause. And you have done such a great job at spreading the mission. The mission of Yo Digo No Mas, of course, is to provide a voice for the voiceless and to address the critical issue of child sex abuse that often goes unnoticed. So let's put this all into context for you. By the time we complete our meals, enjoy conversation with one another, and head to our cars to head home, 40 American children, it is estimated, will have experienced some form of sexual abuse. 93% of these incidents occur within the home. So those are just some ugly numbers, and that's the why. That's why we are all here tonight. So where does Yo Digo No Mas come in? This is an organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of these young people impacted by trauma. We understand the program tonight might trigger a range of emotions for some of you. So Maria's organized a team of specialists. They are here if you become overwhelmed at any point throughout the program. Tonight's gala is dedicated to protecting the innocence of our children and standing firmly against childhood sexual abuse. It serves as a powerful reminder of our commitment to protect the most vulnerable among us and to support survivors on their healing journeys. So together, as a community, for a force of good, and as advocates of change, we all come together this evening. Thank you, everyone. Now, before we officially begin, two things I'd like to accomplish. One, all of you have them. Everyone take out your cell phones. Take some selfies. Spread the love of the incredible power of the mission tonight. And we have two hashtags, Yo Digo No Mas. And is there a hashtag specifically for the gala? Or do we just want Yo Digo No Mas? Yo Digo No Mas on Instagram. You can also send them to me at Tara Rosenblum on Instagram so we can get a reel on News 12 and spread the love on the airwaves. Before we kick off the program, I also want to take a moment to recognize the incredible sponsors who made this evening possible. I'm going to ask you to hold your applause until I get through the list because it is a long one. Our champion sponsors this year, Capelli Development Company, Goya Foods Inc. Our advocate sponsors, Ebentech, Montefiore Einstein, CMB Plumbing, and Heating Inc. Our patron sponsors, Alliant, RXR Realty, Veracity, Countywide Masonry, Cherry Hill Glass, Sarah Coelho, Wide Pride Air Conditioning and Heating, TaxPro Financial Network, Inc., Gastroenterology of the Hudson Valley, Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union, New York Presbyterian. Other sponsors and donations, VIP Country Club, Corporate AV Services, Lahara Band, Primitive Agency, White Plains Hospital, Echo Entertainment, Formay Medical Center, and Urgent Care.
Oof. I always say, I've seen that video, but it just hit me differently. Because when you suffer trauma, it shows up in unexpected ways. And I am so grateful today. Today I declare that I was graced and that I was walking with God by my side. People were asking me, were you nervous? And I said, not at all, not even for a second. And I said, and they were asking, that's crazy, why? I said, because this is not my work, this is God's work. And I truly feel that in my soul and in my heart, I am his chosen one. So I want to thank all of you for being here. I say that time is the biggest gift that you can give anyone. So for me, you being here is the biggest gift that you can give me in the movement. Thank you so much for being here, all of you. I want to thank God. I want to thank him for the life that he has given me. I want to thank him for the wisdom that he has given me to be able to go from dark to light and learn to dance the dance of life so beautifully, and be able to teach others and be an inspiration to other people so that they can dance the dance of life between dark and light, because it would always be dark and light. I want to thank my family. Without you, I would not be here. I want to thank my son Franco for helping me heal and for continuing to help me heal. Thank you for being my biggest accelerator of healing. I love you. My son Jeffrey, unfortunately, could not be here because he lives in Michigan. He just bought a house and they're moving and it's crazy, but I want to thank him for inspiring me to write my book. Yo Digo No Más, I Say No More book exists because of Jeffrey. And I am so grateful that he allowed me to have the ability to think bigger and be able to create this and write this book that has helped millions of people, because I know that it's already on its way to impact millions. I want to thank my daughter, my baby, my princess. You have been one of the biggest. Actually, in my book, I said that NT, Natasha Trusa, NT, was going to be my biggest teacher, and you have been. I thought, we think we're done healing, but we're not. We heal, and we continue to heal always until the day we close our eyes. I want to thank Gina. Thank you, Gina, for loving me, for supporting me, for allowing this to be possible. Want to thank my team. You are the chosen one, because everyone here that has been a team member of Yo Digo No Más has been chosen. The volunteers, my God, we have so many volunteers. Thank you so much for all the effort. This has taken a lot of effort to be here. I want to thank the board members of Yo Digo No Más. Thank you. I know you're here, so thank you for joining us. The sponsors, Tara already mentioned the sponsors, so I am so grateful for, especially Goya has been supporting me for a few years now, so Goya Foods, I am so grateful. Rafael couldn't be here because he's sick, but Rafael, I know you'll watch this, and I want to tell you that for me, you are a catalyst of change, and I am so grateful that you believe in me. I want to thank the honorees. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you. Tara, thank you for always supporting me from the beginning when I showed you what was possible for us on supporting the children. And I want to thank Senator Shelley Mayer. I don't know if she's here, but she was supposed to be here, for believing in me and donating to the movement $20,000 this year so that we can continue doing the work. And finally, also, Senator Andrea Stewart's cousin, who was here earlier, and she has allocated $50,000 of her budget to Yo Digo No Más. And legislator Jose Alvarado, who also allocated $20,000. You see, when we were born all with this light, this divine light that was given to us as a gift that we own forever. And that light is the light that I'm trying for us to protect, because that light can get covered by sexual abuse to the point that you cannot see it ever again, and that happens to too many lives, millions of people. It happened to me when I was 9 years old, and it took me about 40 years to be able to really connect to this light. So we are together the protector of our light. And I want to tell you that after doing so much work on healing through Forgive to Live in Vermont, I have seen what the light could do and how you can begin. My team is telling me to shut up. So begin to turn on the light. So we're here together, all of us, protecting the light of all the children. Thank you so much.
And Maria, speaking of the innocence and the light, the innocence of children is a precious gift, radiating hope, joy, and illuminating a light that reminds us of the beauty in the world. Tonight, we are delighted to witness this pure spirit as our talented young performers take the stage as they will share a heartfelt rendition of What a Wonderful World. Please come join us.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I'll think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Let's hear it for these beauties. And I accidentally buried the lead. Maria, congratulations to your grandchildren who are here performing. Which ones are your grandkids? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, as we get ready for dinner now, I would like to invite up Pastor Jonathan Rocca-Barron to the stage to offer a blessing.
Good evening. It sounds empty in here. Good evening. Good. So Maria spoke about the light, and these lights are really bright right here. I want to draw your attention to the song that was just sung. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Joy, genuine, strong, open, happy, powerful. Each youth was wearing a different word. A word that expresses each of you that are here. But in that word, that light shines bright, as Maria spoke about. You see, a few years ago, I was standing in front of a church that I was called to serve in the Bronx, and one of the neighbors was standing in the front with me, a Dominican guy in his 20s, and he looks at me and he goes, "Pastor, you're not going to get in trouble for hanging out with us? Guys, that was a punchline. I looked at him, I said, by who? He goes, your boss. And I took a step back, and I looked up. I said, no, I'm not going to get in trouble. This is what I've been called to do. And immediately I drew the attention to my suit. And I said, I'm dressed in black, right? He goes, yes. And I popped off my collar and I said, you see this white collar? He goes, yes. I said, in the midst of darkness, I bring the light to you. You see that light in the midst of darkness that we will speak about and hear about this evening. Each of you will bring that light shining in hope, in inspiration, in joy, in genuine, in strongness, in happiness, in openness, and more importantly, being powerful as you speak up, saying, Yo digo no más. Let us pray. Comforting God, as we gather this evening in support of Maria Trusa and the Yo digo no más movement, we ask for your blessing. We ask you to lead and guide us, to grant us the wisdom and the strength, to provide support for those victims that have been sexually abused. God, at this moment, we pray for all those that have, are, or will be abused. We humble ourselves in your presence and seek your protection. We gather to celebrate the life of Maria. Let us be inspired by her story and willingness to take action. Speaking up, saying, Yo digo no más. May the beauty of God be reflected in your eyes. The love of God be reflected in your hands. The wisdom of God be reflected in your words. And the knowledge of God flow from our heart, that all might see and seeing believe in you. May God bless you now and always. Amen. I conclude by saying one more thing. As I was given the itinerary for today, take a message, please. Just kidding. As I was shown the itinerary for this evening, I skimmed it, and at the end I saw La Jara Band. So I walked over to Cami, I said, is this the same La Jara Band that I know? And she goes, yes. So not only am I Maria's pastor, but I'm also the chaplain for the New York City Police Department. And if you don't like La Jara Band that's sneaking in looking, just let me know, and we'll make sure we transfer them to different locations. They are great. You're in for a treat with La Jara Band. May God's blessings be upon each of you. May God bless the food that you are about to eat. But more importantly, may God bless Maria and each of you individuals that support this movement and are the true light, the beacon of light in this world that so desperately needs each of you. God bless you all.
With over 33 years of experience in real estate development, Bruce has dedicated his entire career to crafting communities that thrive. Since joining Capelli Enterprises in 1999 as executive vice president, Bruce has held various leadership roles within the industry. And he has been instrumental in shaping the Capelli Development Company's vision and mission. His leadership has not only driven the company's growth, but he has also made a profound impact on the community. And he also was an office mate of my husband for 20-something years. And my husband always used to tell me, he would describe Bruce as the ultimate family guy, a loyal guy, and smart as heck. And he would tell me that you have a computer, like a calculator in your head, and that you are the ultimate mathematician. But what adds up is that you are so very deserving of this award here this evening. So I congratulate you, your beautiful wife, Lori, and can't wait to hear what Gina has to say.
Well, actually, I don't have anything to say. They told me I wasn't speaking. but I can because I've known Bruce for 20 some odd years. He has been the right hand to my family, to my brother, who has built ridiculous sky risers everywhere. And Bruce is an amazing human being. So he is, and in a quick few words, he is a friend. He is a part of our family, and I will love him forever. So Bruce, come and get your award.
Wow, this is a little humbling. I got to follow Father John, Maria Truth Serum, Tara. I don't even know how I get this award with all this stuff that Tara does. This is crazy. So I was fortunate enough to, I got sort of brought into the Capelli family some 20 odd years ago, and that's where I first met Gina, and then I met Maria about 12 years ago. Is that right? And there's no question she is one of the most passionate and driven and people I've ever met in my life. She's hard to say no to about anything. I joined the board of Promise to Aid in 2017 at her request. In 2020, the book came out, and up until that point, I really didn't know the entire story. When I heard the entire story, it's very impressive, and I think we have a lot of mutual respect for each other, and you're a phenomenal person. The Capelli organization has been involved in both Form A and Yo Digo No Mas for a number of years. We've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars. We've helped Maria set up the studio, which has enabled her to get her program out to hundreds and thousands of children, which has been great. And I just want to say I'm humbled with all of the speakers, and thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Beautiful honor for a wonderful person. Let's hear it for Bruce Berg, everyone. The next award is the Child Advocacy Award, and this year we are presenting it to the Honorable Susan Kikase by Maria Trusa. Throughout her legal career, Susan Kikase has dedicated herself to the fair administration of justice throughout Westchester County. Her expertise in handling crimes against children and sex offenses committed against our most vulnerable victims, the children and the elderly, have made a profound impact on communities in Westchester County and far beyond. It is our honor to recognize Judge Kikase for the incredible work she has done and continues to do to safeguard the innocence of our children. Her unwavering dedication to justice and advocacy highlight the importance of being a strong voice against the silent pandemic of child sexual abuse. Susan Kikase, please join us at the podium.
And when I met you, there was a divine connection. I'm extremely present to the divinity of people. And when I saw you, there's something in your eyes, and I feel there's a protection in your eyes. It's like you have what it takes to protect us, because each one of us has an inner child, and you've been protecting us. And when I read everything about you, I became so inspired by you. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for saying yes, because when I call you, I wasn't sure, but I'm like, I'm going to just ask, because I always say, if you can ask it, the worst they could say is no. But I really was so inspired and so touched by your work, and I want to tell you that today you have joined the army of Yo Digo No Mas as well. Thank you.
Well, I have to say that when I went to the rally that day, I didn't know what to expect. But Maria's presence, her leadership was inspiring. And we were just traveling through the streets of Yonkers, screaming Yo Digo No Mas with placards, and it was all you. And the fact that this is the second annual is amazing. So, thank you for the introduction, Maria. And what's kind of a mistake on the video is that I'm a retired county court judge. I retired in December to run for district attorney of Westchester County. And over the last 10 months, I've been on the campaign trail, which is very different than sitting on a bench adjudicating sex crimes for 14 years. There were ups and downs throughout the last 10 months, but the best parts have been the opportunity it's given me to meet and get to know some amazing people. And campaigning really does provide a great platform to gain access into communities and see what's going on in them and identify the people who have made it their mission to look out for the most vulnerable in our communities. I've met some incredible personalities on this adventure, many of whom I now consider friends. And when I think of the people who have really stood out to me as inspiring advocates, so you can imagine, she was saying that she was happy I said yes. I was honored when she told me that I'd be the recipient of an award from an organization as grassroots and empowering as Digo no Más. As the supervising judge for the sex crimes part of the Westchester County Court for the last nearly 15 years, your mission here is near and dear to my heart. I presided over thousands of cases involving some of the most heinous crimes you can imagine. Women, children, family members, strangers, all victims of the same kind of life-altering crimes. Knowing people like Maria and Gina Capelli and Mara DeRossi, and so many of you in this room who have dedicated themselves to advocating for victims, protecting the vulnerable from ever becoming victims, and playing an active role in the healing process for those who have to heal from the trauma they've endured, gives me hope that as district attorney, I'll be able to work in tandem with you and with people like you to ensure that Westchester County sets a shining example to all others of what a district attorney's office can be capable of if a community comes together and utilizes all of the assets available to it. I want people to look at the Westchester District Attorney's Office and specifically at our Sex Crimes Division as a reference for how successful an office can be, and I pledge to you that you'll be part of it. I'd like to say a few words about a special guest that we have here tonight. She came as my guest, talking about friends we've made along the way. I'd be completely remiss if I didn't acknowledge another incredibly brave woman that's been my great privilege to know, my friend Mildred J. Mills. Stand up, Mildred. Who of course has dressed perfectly, and she's wearing purple for the event. Mildred is a pillar of strength not only because of what she's overcome and accomplished in her life, but because she chose to use her platform for good. A gifted writer, Mildred used her voice to speak for so many. She chose to share and raise awareness and give hope to people in seemingly hopeless situations, something that we could use more of. She's a true inspiration, and I encourage each and every one of you to buy and read her book, Daddy's House. Despite this long campaign, I was able to read it, and I read it in a day. It's a great book. Thank you for coming, Mildred. So if I'm lucky enough to be your next district attorney, and I believe I will, I'm looking to partner with organizations like this and individuals like you to make the office as successful and collaborative as it can be. The office is so much more than just prosecuting criminals. That's a big part of it, of course, but there's so much more that we can do. The office presents some exciting opportunities to make a difference on a large scale. The office will be there doing the work of investigation and prosecution, and we will be diligent. But there are important roles to be played in prevention and healing victims of these terrible crimes. I envision a partnership where we will cover all of the bases and provide a comprehensive plan to combat this kind of evil in all forms and in every community so that the County of Westchester hears us all say, no more. Digo no más.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Congratulations. We're going to move on now to the next award, the Compassionate Caregiver Award, being presented to Dr. Dennis Nunez by Dr. Phoenix Arias from Goya Cares. Dr. Nunez is being recognized for a steadfast commitment to serving the Latino immigrant community. Her innovative and compassionate approach to reducing health disparities among vulnerable populations have made a significant and lasting impact. We are thrilled to honor Dr. Nunez for her outstanding contributions and the positive changes that she has brought to our local communities. Her unwavering dedication to caring for vulnerable populations, particularly children in the Latino community, is truly inspirational and represents the very essence of Yo Digo No Más. Please join me on the podium.
It is, well, Dr. Nunez make her way to the podium. It is a great honor for me because I am an admirer of Dr. Denise Nunez. And if we're talking about shining a light into a community, that would be Dr. Denise Nunez through her organization, El Niño de la Caridad, which provides free tutoring and services to all the children of the Bronx. So they do not only get free tutoring, but they also get to apply to college, and they actually come back and volunteer and serve in the community, along with Dr. Nunez, to do research on what is impacting the community. So if you have any chance to visit the Fordham Road area, please stop by El Niño de la Caridad and witness the wonderful miracle that Dr. Nunez does with the children from the community. Denise?
Actually, I'm a fan, by the way. I used to see her everywhere, and I was like, one day I need to meet Maria, one day. And it happened out of the blue, and I was so thrilled I got invited to meet her, and I was just drooling because of all the things you've done. And I have to say that as a pediatrician, so I am a pediatrician, we see at least twice a week cases of sexual abuse. We live it. We take care of the parents. We take care of the kids. But I'm also a critical care physician. So I don't know if you guys know what that means. A critical care doctor is a doctor, you remember from COVID, patients were in the ICU. So I'm the one that intubates, I'm the one that does CPR, and I just want to tell you a little bit of one patient that I just saw a couple days ago. 17-year-old female who actually tried to commit suicide. So she took a lot of pills from grandma's bucket, and she went into cardiac arrest. She went into cardiac arrest twice, not one, but twice. Intubated her, did CPR, about 15 minutes each, we brought her back. Days later, we found out what happened, right? Because it takes time for us to figure it out. We figured out what happened, and definitely it was a case of sexual abuse by a family member, and she wouldn't tell her parents. What happened? About 4 days after the first initial intubation, we extubated her. And I wanted to be there, so I extubated her. Extubated means we took the tube out. She was able to get her conscious back. And you cannot imagine what was the first words that came out of her mouth when I saw her. Why? I said, what do you mean, why? What do you mean? Why did you save my life? So when I finally met Maria and I saw her mission and her cause and why she's doing all this, this is why. Now we have a voice. They have a voice. It's not the same looking at the numbers, guys, than living it, and I live it. So I really want to thank you, Maria, for the work you do. I really want to request that we all support Maria and that we continue this journey together, because it is not easy as an intensivist. What I'm living with all these patients is not easy. And we need more people to help these kids, more voices. And what Maria is doing is just amazing. So thank you for this award. It is yours, not mine, but I am humbly accepting it, and thank you so much for helping all our kids.
The next award is our Outstanding Volunteer Service Award, and it is being presented this year to Dr. Edith Shiro by Maria Trusa. Dr. Shiro has devoted her career to healing trauma and promoting post-traumatic growth, offering a safe and supportive space for patients, communities, and individuals to realize their potential and to embrace higher consciousness. Her compassionate work has had a lasting impact of those affected by transgenerational trauma. We are honored to present Dr. Shiro with the Outstanding Volunteer Service Award this year. Her tireless dedication and compassionate presence have profoundly impacted the lives of so many of our neighbors, and we are so grateful for her commitment to addressing this critical issue of childhood sex abuse and supporting the healing of those impacted. Please give her a warm welcome as she makes her way to the podium.
The volunteers have been incredible. My God, it was so hard to even pick this award because I feel that everybody that has joined the army of Yo Digo No Más deserves the award, but Edith Shiro has traveled from Florida for 3 years. She's been coming and supporting me in workshops. We've been in colleges doing workshops against sexual abuse, educating, and recently, I asked her to be part of something that you're going to get to see what we have for 2025. And I'm like blown away that she says yes to me always. And she has become not just a volunteer of Yo Digo No Más, but a soul sister. You are my soul sister in this journey. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your amazing support and impactful. So thank you for your work with Yo Digo No Más.
My soul sister.
You know, we, as a psychologist, I know that we are the reflection of what we say, so everything Maria said is really about her more than about me, and I agree with my friend, Dr. Denise, who I also have the honor to know and be in this journey with, so congratulations, Denise. With the Honorable Susan, who we walked together, I don't know where you're sitting, but we walked together in a walk, and I got the pleasure to be talking with you and supporting you, and I really hope you win. I'm telling all my friends here in New York to vote for you. And, you know, I'm going to read what I was going to say, but I was going to tell you that I met Maria when I was writing my book, The Unexpected Gift of Trauma, and she was already about to publish a book, Yo Digo No Más, so we shared some at the editor or at some point. And just sitting and listening to her that first few minutes when we met, I was blown away by the powerhouse, the integrity, the strength, the resilience, and the inspiration that Maria was those for a few minutes and has been ever since. Not only we are colleagues, we support each other, she inspires me every day, but we are soul sisters, we have fun, we go out, and we party after we talk about very difficult things as well. On my way here this morning, yesterday, I had a case in my office, and I just wanted to also share this with you because it took a lot of strength from me. I'm going training psychologists in different parts of the world on trauma and post-traumatic growth. And yesterday, I happened to have a kid that came to my office. He was very, very reluctant to come to therapy. His mother called me, his grandmother called me. They were like, please, 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 Edith, please help him. He needs help. He doesn't want to go to therapy. He doesn't want to be helped. He finally agreed. I saw him yesterday. He's 27. And he says, I'm here, but I don't need help. I don't care anybody, looks at me. I don't know why everybody feels so sorry for me. I'm fine. I don't feel anything. I don't feel love. I don't feel sadness. I don't feel pain. I don't feel anything. And I'm like, how come? He's like, well, when I was 5 years old, and he was talking like this with no feelings. He was very, very, very dissociated and disconnected in his story. He said, when I was 5 years old, my grandfather came from behind me and he raped me. And I know I was this beautiful, strong, proud boy when I was 5 years old. And that's it. I've stayed stuck. I was amazed that he was able to tell this story. He said, I've stayed stuck at 5. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be hugged. I don't want to be dealt with anything. And this is who I am, and this is who I want to be. I don't know if anybody can help me. And my heart was breaking, and at the same time, I was so grateful that I was coming here today, because I said, I cannot do this alone. I see this kind of things every time in my office, in my consulting room, and if we didn't have people like Maria, I don't know where we would be. And it really inspires me and moves me and makes me feel supported in the work that I do. And again, like Dr. Denise said, I encourage every one of you to continue the support, and thank you so much for everything, because this is what she needs, and this is her and the amazing team of people that she has here every time to support and to help. Please, let's continue this work so we can break the intergenerational trauma, so we can be voice to the voiceless, that we can break the silence, and that we can be an example for our children so they don't have to live through anything like that. They can have their innocence, the light to go on and to be an inspiration for everybody else. Thank you for this honor, and I'm here with you continuing this journey. Thank you. Yes.
Founded in 2013 by NYPD Captain Alexander Cedillo of the 63rd Precinct, the La Jara Band is renowned for its vibrant performances of salsa and merengue, using music as a bridge to unite and uplift the community. The term Jara is a colloquial expression for police in Spanish, symbolizing the band's roots in law enforcement and community service. We are honored and we are privileged to have the band attend our gala. Their bravery, dedication, unwavering commitment to protecting our community exemplify the spirit of the Community Protector Award. It is a true testament to how they juggle their crucial day-to-day police activities while also spreading joy and unity through music during their off time. Welcome to the podium.
As they come up, I want to share with you, I've met them through a lot of involvement in different police activities and different police organizations. As Reverend Recca Barron mentioned, they are infamous. They're famous. They've been in Times Square. They perform everywhere around the world. And one of the coolest things is, if you guys know Maria and I, we love to dance. And when I tell you, you guys are in for such a treat, because they're not just a regular band. Like, if you hear them, you're like, wait, that's their original song. So clearly, I'm a huge fan. But on top of that, it makes total sense for them to be here. And they could be anywhere else. I know two of them were running, Christian and Captain Cedillo. Where's he? Captain Cedillo was running in from a meeting. They do have their regular jobs. So they are out protecting our community. But they also extend themselves and they share their private time away from their family members. I heard a couple of you guys checking in with the kids. So I can relate and I appreciate you guys for that. But they take their time out to be here with us. And it makes perfect sense because they are what we are doing. We're protecting the innocence of our children. And they're the ones in the front lines, guys. So I cannot find a better opportunity to be able to honor you guys. So Captain Cedillo, if you can receive this on behalf of the Yo Digo No Más organization. Also, they have received, you have your own proclamation for being the founder of the organization.
Thank you very much.
And then La Jara Band overall, you guys also have proclamations.
Thank you.
And a little shout out to Ariel. So for some of my Latinos who know a little bit of bachata, if you guys remember the group Extreme, he was in Extreme. So I met him I met him as a teenager. So when I tell you that the world is 360, I was working for Univision Radio in Dallas, and they came to perform as young kiddos. They were homesick, and I said, let's go give you guys some tres golpe.
Huepa, mi gente, muchas gracias. Thank you so very much. Mira, I stand here amongst these tremendous musicians, their brothers, their sisters, and they also serve the community, not only on patrol, but through music. I'm gonna give you a quick little history. Back in 2005, I had this idea of starting this band. It wasn't until 2013, I was a sergeant, that I had the courage to just move forward and try it out. And little did I know this was gonna be amazing success. And you know, the beauty about this band is the fact that we don't only just play, but we also send a message. And in this particular case, we're tagging along with you, this amazing organization, because this is what we need. We have to protect our kids, right? And we do this every single day. Many people don't know, La Jara plays on their own time for the most part. And it wasn't easy, but it was definitely a blessing to get to know all these tremendous musicians, because now we are uniting with the community through the power of music. So La Jara, thank you very much for what you do. On patrol, in here, each and every one of you, let's continue fighting together. Communication is key. Y vamos a seguir pa'lante. Muchas gracias, mi gente. And last but not, I should have started with this. And first and foremost, I want to thank God Almighty for giving us this blessing to be here tonight. Thank you so much.
We want to recognize Goya and the Capelli Development Company for their generous contributions and commitment. They have been instrumental in empowering our mission and expanding our ability to serve the community. We have been able to actually impact the life of many, and actually for us to say, yo digo no más. I say no more with their contribution. So please, let's put together our hands in recognition of their wonderful contribution and significant empowerment to yo digo no más.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of words. It's a pleasure to be here tonight on behalf of Goya Foods to celebrate the second annual of Yo Digo No Más. We are truly honored to accept this special recognition as a result of the great work my team and I have done with Goya Cares to help spread the word of protecting our children. So we're so delighted to receive this. So thank you for acknowledging us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goya.
All right.
Si es Goya, tiene que ser bueno.
He was looking at her like, oh my God. Somebody who went through such trauma became this big, amazing energy and person. And you know what? He did donate. He donated 3 seasons of her show that reached 500,000 people. I love my brother. He's helped us in Form A. He's helped us throughout our struggles. But at the end of the day, he has a sensitive heart. I'm sorry he's not here tonight, but at the end of the day, he supports this movement. I support this movement. I love my business partner, and I love Yo Digo No Más.
Well, it is my pleasure, and this is, before we get La Jara, to introduce, as we move forward this evening, Miri Rodriguez, who is a storyteller, mindfulness advocate, brand consultant, and international keynote speaker. So please, join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and cherished supporters, good evening. It is an immense honor to stand before you tonight as we gather for a cause that resonates deeply within our hearts and may hit home to some of us, or at least close to home. In 2020, my beloved abuela, on my father's side, the last surviving of my grandparents, passed away. She was the heart of our family, and each of her 30-something grandchildren felt that she was our favorite. A few days after her funeral, My family gathered at the tiny apartment in a neighborhood in Caracas, Venezuela. Woo! But it was during that somber time, we were just mourning her death, that one of my younger cousins decided to share a very deep and dark secret that he had been holding since he was 8 years old. He had been sexually abused by another family member at the tender age of 8. His bravery in speaking out empowered other cousins, and this unlocked a chain of secrets that had been held down for generations in my family, eventually destroying what we thought was a unified family. That moment was a facade of our family. We didn't know what to do. It destroyed us at the very core. My family's painful and harrowing experience, and that of my cousins, it's unfortunately not very unique. In the United States, every 68 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted. Even more alarming, every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. Yet only 30% of child abuse cases are ever reported. This dark reality underscores an urgent need and a powerful opportunity for us to raise awareness, protect our children, and safeguard future generations. We say, yo digo, no más. It stops with us. Tonight, you and I have the chance to change and rewrite that narrative for ourselves, for those we love, and for generations to come. This evening is not about raising funds. I'll say that again. This evening is not about raising funds. It's about igniting this movement, a call to action, and a commitment to safeguarding the most vulnerable among us, our children. Yo Digo No Más was born to drive a mission, to create a world where every child can grow up free from fear, harm, and the devastating effects of sexual abuse. This mission is not a distant dream. It is a tangible reality. It is a tangible reality that we can build together right here and right now. And tonight we stand at the crossroads of an opportunity for action. Through past donations, and thank you to all of you who have in the past donated, and your generosity, this program has been a beacon of hope for the last 4 years, starting with local communities, and now it's expanding to the world. Your donations have impacted over 500,000 lives. Please give yourselves an applause for that.
De Honduras.